Hey guys, how you doing today? Doing another impromptu stream right now. My kiddo's napping, and I don't got much else to do right now, so I figured I'd work on Inktober for today, because I haven't posted anything today yet, and stream a little bit. So, if the stream goes down suddenly, it could be because my... Oh, great. Man, this app is killing me with the video. Great. I don't know why it does it, because my phone is oriented the correct way, but there's no indication. Hopefully that fixed it. There's no indication for me which way the camera is facing. So, someone please let me know if that's correct in portrait mode now. Okay, great. It's so obnoxious that it automatically changes the orientation of the camera without letting me know. It wouldn't be a problem if I knew about it, but you guys are the only, because I don't see, the feed I see of my own video is oriented correctly. Is everybody else saying that the character is out of frame? Because for me it's in frame. Because this, my finger up here is at the top of the character. You should be able to see the whole top to the bottom. Okay, good. Scaring me. Thanks for letting me know, guys. It's scaring me. Yeah, so I don't know how long I'll be streaming today. Hopefully I'll finish this. If not, then too bad, I guess. I'll post the finished result online when it's done. I should have about 30 to 40 minutes. If he naps as long as normally he does. But we'll see. But yeah, I hope you guys are doing well. Trying to keep it super loose today. So I have a little thumbnail that I'm working off of for the background and stuff. Nothing too fancy. But I've just done some light construction lines for the character itself, which I probably didn't even need to do because I'm so familiar with drawing this character, but it's more for the placement of the character relative to the background rather than it is for details, because I still make up a lot of the details as I go. Yeah, I've never really done, I honestly haven't really done prints all that much, period. Just because the 2 times I've tried to do it, there's just not been a huge, a really great response to it. The couple times I did prints, I sold 1 or 2, not that much. So I lost money both times I tried to do prints, so it's kind of something that I've hesitated to do. But thank you. I mean, it's a kind compliment. Thank you. If there's more of a demand, or like I did conventions more, then I'd do more prints. But right now, it's just not. Like, I hate to say I'm not going to do something because it's not worth it money-wise, but that's kind of the case. Oh, just watch me drop my pen there. Clearly not holding on tight enough. Which is hilarious, because most of the time I feel like I've got like a death grip on the pen, but every once in a while I just butter fingers. Yeah, I may do more prints in the future, especially with comic book related stuff. You never know. Could happen. I always forget to like draw in her ponytail, because the ponytail is a story point. It's kind of a marker in the story, and so basically all I'm saying is at a certain point in the story she has a ponytail, and at a certain point she doesn't, and then eventually it may grow out again. So it's a story point. So when I sketch sometimes I sketch the character not thinking about the ponytail, and then I have to like wait and think like, oh wait, where would this be in the story? Oh yeah, she has a ponytail then, and then draw the ponytail. Because I don't always remember. Well, thank you, Maddie. I see you there. I see you. Appreciate it. Yeah, there is. I don't get a ton of time to like watch periscopes because people are normally periscoping when I'm busy with my son, so don't always get to watch it. But when I do, I like to watch Victoria Gedvias. I still like, shame on me. I still don't know the pronunciation of her last name, and it's ironic that I can't even pronunciate, but. Her and Natalie Hall are the artists I watch the most when I get the chance, or watching, their replays. Yeah, Tori Ann, she is great. Still, like, she just, I mean, the way she colors and uses a brush pen never ceases to amaze me. And she's like the nicest person ever. So, yeah, check her out. Definitely worth it. Especially if you're looking for, people who use like Copic markers, colored markers, and stuff like that. Because I don't really do any of that. So, if you need color fix, go check her out. And her line work is killer too. That's not to say that her line work isn't equally as amazing as her coloring. And I don't know if I said it while I was raving about Tori, but Natalie Hall is also really great. And she does periscopes from time to time. She's got a really unique inking style. It's hard to describe, but definitely worth watching. Oh, oh, I didn't realize she's streaming right now. I must have missed the notification. I always like try not to compete with other artists when I'm periscoping, but I didn't notice this time. Oh, that's cool. That's cool. So, hey, just out of respect, it wouldn't be a bad idea to go check out her stream right now. As much as I appreciate you guys being here, I really do. I have much love for my fellow artists. Oh, well, thank you. Thank you. Yeah, got the character going on. That's going to be done before you know it here, and then I'll be working on some canyon-y backgrounds. It's like a stream that's in the bottom of like a deep canyon. Like really steep. Oh, thank you. Thank you. That's very kind. Yeah, I kind of the way I like to draw comics, and one of the reasons I like to draw comics so much is it's like creating a moving picture. At least that's what I feel is like the goal. So I'm always, whenever I'm making comics, I'm thinking about them like as a movie, because there's like you can make it feel like it's moving. You can make it feel like it has motion by creating a still image the way comics work, and it's something that's really hard to pull off with a lot of other mediums. But thank you for noticing, because that is something I really strive towards in my work. So I'm happy when the goals I set for myself, people notice it. It's really nice. It's like validating, I guess. But yeah, thank you. Draw that kitty tail. Sometimes I just forget to draw her tail altogether, which is totally ridiculous, but it happens. And I'd be like, she's like tucking it behind her leg or something. Who knows? I almost considered for a while. Yes, she's an original character of mine. She's going to be the main character of my comic book. Her name is Spriggan, and yeah, she's a character I've been working on for quite some time. I've changed her design a lot because she's the main character, obviously. So I want her to be perfect, and I'm finally getting to a place where I'm like happy with her. And she'll be wearing a couple different outfits, but her main outfit, where she has like the cloak with the frills, she's had that cloak for a while. Originally, it had like not like it had like feather like frills on it, which was cool, but like really tedious to draw, and I think it like wasn't worth all the work that it would take to draw it. So I changed it to like kind of like that cowboy style frill, like leather frill if you want, which is a lot more fun to draw, a lot quicker to draw, and has good variation on the details, so it's easy to draw it like like close up high detail, and easy to draw far away low detail, and it works really well. And yeah, she's gone through a lot of changes. I considered drawing her without a tail for a while, but her being a feline type character, I assume you mean Lara Croft, because that's totally what your phone would autocorrect that to. But yeah, it's got like it's gonna be like a part of a like type of like light armor. It's gonna have leather armor, and she'll like after this point in the story, she's fallen into this stream, and she's like gathering her senses. So right before this scene, and a lot of this I'll end up redrawing in the comic, but right before the scene, she wakes up, and she like takes off all the excess pieces of armor, like the shoulder pads and the sleeves and stuff. So she's kind of like just down to like the bare bits of armor, which is like kind of like a leather style chest piece, and these heavy fabric shorts, which she will end up wearing for a while, actually. But I redesigned her cloak, and you may have seen it before, like I said, it's the cloak with like frills, to not only have the frills, but have it so that one side of it could be tied up and like essentially rolled up, because it's arm length. It goes down to like her, like just to the edge of her shorts. And I'm not going to tell you where she gets that cloak, because that's going to be a story point too. But I'm really happy with the design, because it feels like something that would totally be like practical and tangible, to be able to tie up the portion of the cloak above your right arm to keep your right arm free, which from the standpoint of like being in the wilderness and, you know, potentially having to like use a weapon or a tool with your right arm, it'd be really practical to not have all that fabric in the way. So that's just an aspect of her design, like practical design, that I'm really proud of. And I'm really happy with, and it's like the long road of designing a main character has paid off for me in this situation. And I feel like I talked last night about doing some like video logs and stuff, and I think if there's enough interest in it, like if you guys are interested, and if you are, you know, like let me know here, or let me know through email or Twitter or whatever, like kind of what you guys would like to see me talk about as far as the process of, you know, designing characters or creating characters and stories and stuff, or just drawing in general. You know, whatever you'd like to see. Give me some ideas, and maybe I'll use your idea and make some videos talking about this kind of stuff. Because like the Periscope streams are fun, like I can answer you guys' questions in real time and stuff, but it's hard to get like really in depth on certain things. So like being able to do some videos, some more in-depth videos about things you guys are curious about or want to hear more about, would be really cool. And yeah, I'll definitely do some stuff that's like, you know, general creative process stuff. Like, I don't want to say tutorials, because I hesitate to use that word, because when I associate drawing tutorials with like those silly books, you know, that everybody jokes about, that's like, draw a circle, draw another circle, you know, then draw an owl. It's like, you can't really teach like step-by-step drawing in that way, because you can really only at a time like teach somebody to draw one thing, like, you know, draw a car, or like how to draw, you know, this pose or that pose, you know what I mean? So it's like, I hesitate to use the word tutorial, because I'm not like, there's not one set way to teach something when it comes to drawing. I prefer to use like video log, or, you know, like something like that, because it's more of like a discussion, like an insight to my process, and maybe like giving you some ideas, like, you know, like big picture ideas and tools to use, rather than, oh well, this is how you draw an owl in this pose, because like those books don't work, because they teach you to draw an owl in that one pose, but they don't give you the tools to draw an owl in any pose you want, if that makes sense. So I prefer not to use the word tutorial, but videos, yeah, you know, just videos talking about my process and like how I go about designing characters, I guess, is what I would shoot for. And I want to do stuff, I want it to be more of like, you know, like a discussion rather than like a guidebook, you know. I don't know if that makes sense, but that's like my idea. Because I want to give, if I can give anything, I want to give you guys tools to like be more creative, and like, you know, get in tune with your process and figure out like what you want to do with your art. Like those are the best, that's the best knowledge you can impart, I think, as an artist who, whether I like it or not, is a role model to other artists, or at least, you know, I'm in the public eye and I'm influencing people whether I like it or not. So I want to give you guys the most positive influence I can. And so that includes, like, me giving you guys what you want to know. I feel like I'm all over the place today, guys. I apologize, but yeah, don't ever hesitate to email me. I think there may be a couple of emails that I missed while I was on vacation. So if you have sent me an email and I haven't responded to it, it's not because I didn't want to respond to you or anything. It's probably because I either missed it or I forgot. And I'm really sorry if either of those things happened. So if you've emailed me and I haven't replied to you, please email me back. Or just resend it. Just be like, hey asshole, I emailed you, why don't you email me back? I'm like, well, probably because I'm an asshole. Oh, thank you. Line is life. Man, I just always, I'm just like a slave to it. Because, I don't know, I was thinking about this the other day, and it's totally random, and, if you're the type of person who either does or appreciates, fine art, and, most specifically, photorealistic art, then please don't take any offense from this. I don't mean any offense. It's totally, my own opinion, but, I was looking at these amazing paintings. I can't remember the name of the artist, shame on me, but there are these amazing paintings of, just photorealistic people, photorealistic still lifes and stuff. And, I'm reading about how this artist takes, dozens of hours on, one painting to make it photorealistic. And I'm like, yeah, it's cool, I get it. It's neat to look at, but, with the amount of time you invest in doing something that's photorealistic, I feel like the payoff is not enough. And let me be the most snobby of snobbish art critics for 1 second and say that photography is photorealism. So I'm asking the question that I'm sure gets asked a lot is, why would you spend 20 plus hours painting something that's photorealistic when you can just take a photograph of it? Because in my opinion, and let me stress that this is my opinion, I would much rather, if given the choice, spend 20 hours painting something that's not realism, something that's, either imagined or, stylized, because then you're creating something that doesn't exist already. When you're painting photorealism, you're creating a photorealistic painting or portrait, but it exists already, and you can take a photograph in 3 seconds and get the same effect. And maybe not the same effect of obviously when you're looking at a photograph, it's not the same as a painting. So you look at the painting, you're like, wow, that's super realistic, that's amazing. But past that, what is the point? So my artistic philosophy is, I would always rather be creating something that doesn't exist rather than depicting something that does exist. And so line work is we don't see the world in line work. We see the world in shape and tone and color. So simplifying something down to lines is that's what makes art exciting for me. And once again, my apologies if my opinion about realistic art offends anybody, because it has its own merits and it has its own audience. Just because I'm not the audience doesn't mean that it's not good. Just because I don't like it doesn't mean it's not good. I'm not trying to say that, because it is good. And if you do that kind of stuff, you're awesome. You have far more patience than me. It's just not, it's not for me, I guess. And people always ask me, because I have done some very realistic stuff, and people seem to like it, why don't you draw more realism? I was well, I don't like drawing things that are real. And honestly, that was one of the reasons that led me to develop characters that aren't human. Because I'm a human, I know what humans look like, and I can draw humans all day long, but I'd rather draw something that's not human that doesn't already exist. And like, yeah, cats and stuff exist, but not like like anthropomorphic versions of these animals that do already exist. I don't know. I was just thinking about that the other day, and it's one of the reasons I like line work so much. Creating environments. Yeah, I mean, I've got advice for that. Creating environments based off of stuff that you know and stuff that you've seen is like a really good idea. And practicing the stuff that you don't know. Like if you live in the mountains, drawing mountains should be easy for you because you see mountains all the time. If you live in the city, drawing cities, though technically difficult, it should come easy to you because that's the kind of stuff that you see every day that's in your head. So like I think the best things for me to do when I'm practicing environments is like just observing the environments that I'm in. Like when I was in Montana in the car, like I didn't spend any time on my phone. Like we were driving for long periods of time because we went all over Montana, but like I was just looking out the window and like just taking it all in, like just absorbing as much of the landscape and environment as I could. Kind of like storing it in my head for later. It's what Jake Parker has talked about. What I tend to talk about every once in a while is that creative bank account. It's like just putting stuff into your head that inspires you and you can use later. So like honestly, like what I'm drawing right now is stuff that's pretty heavily inspired by rather my recent trip to Montana. So. And just going outside and sitting somewhere with a sketchbook and just like drawing what you see, that's also a great way to learn environments. And once you start getting more comfortable with drawing environments that you see, you'll find that it becomes much easier just naturally for you to create environments that don't exist. Creating environments from imagination, like what I'm doing right now. Like this is inspired by Montana, but I didn't see like any riverbed canyons in Montana that look exactly like this one. So the more you perceive stuff in real life, the easier it becomes to create stuff from memory, I think is the overall point I'm getting at here. But a lot goes into it, like just the way nature works, like the way rocks group around plants and plants spring up out of like through rocks is like all stuff that I've seen in real life that I'm using right now in my artwork. I'm just pulling from that bank account, pulling from stuff that I've seen. And it's the same thing when you're drawing like mechanical type stuff. Like the more mechanical stuff you look at, the easier it's going to be for you to draw that kind of thing. So I'm always talking about Pinterest. Get on Pinterest and start saving a bunch of pins of like landscapes and environments you want to like practice drawing. Just you don't even have to draw those photos or anything. Just looking at them is enough to like fill your head with stuff you can use later on. And it's something you don't really notice it happening. You don't really notice like this stuff banking into your memory, but as you draw, you'll just find it's easier to draw that stuff. Oh, that's an interesting idea. Calling a bank of reference a morgue. Yeah, I guess if you like want to try to give it a mental image, like that's a pretty good image because like in a morgue, you got all these bodies and drawers, and you just like pull out the drawer and you can look at it. It makes sense. I get that. It makes sense in a really silly, morbid kind of way. Which I like it. I was talking about so much morbid stuff last night. It's still fresh and it's funny to me. But yeah, that's a good way. Yeah, calling it a bank account where you're depositing inspirational stuff and then withdrawing it later. That's a good way to think of it. Org is a good way to think of it. If you want to think of that, like all the ideas that you're going to use as dead bodies that you're putting into drawers to look at later, whatever works for you, you know? Britt Spencer. I feel like I've probably heard that name before. And somebody did ask about whether or not, like, what my feeling is about art school. Like, should you go or not, or is it useful or not? And like I always kind of like hesitate to answer that question whenever I get it, because like I don't want to discourage you from going to art school. I went to art school. I did not finish art school, but I went. And I'm still left with a very large debt from the almost 2 years I went. And college is becoming something in our day and age, and the kids of my generation and the generation after me are going to have to be really wary about, because college is so expensive now. It's not just something that everybody can do. You know, I hate to say that, because everybody deserves a higher education, but not everybody's going to be able to get it, and that's really sad to me. But that's the day and age we live in. So I think you have to really carefully think about it, and there's no right answer for everybody, and that's why I think I hesitate to answer, because there's no right answer. Each person has a different situation and is going to be able to come to their own conclusion. So I think what's better is to give you the tools to make your own decision, or like, you know, give some insight on like why I did or didn't go, or how I feel about it now. And I owe a lot of money because of art school, but I also learned a lot. If I would have continued in art school, I think I would have regretted it, because I would have owed a lot more money than I owe now. I don't think I would have learned all that much more. I think I learned just enough to get me where I want to go. I learned a lot of, you know, figure drawing, basic form, how light works, how perspective works, and a lot of tools to like become your own successful artist. So you have to think, is art something you want to do? Do you feel like you have to do it? That's good. Like, feeling like you have to do it is good, because then it's a pretty easy choice. Like, well, you have to do it, so that's what you should be doing. Because art is hard, and being successful at art is hard, and there's no like easy way. There's no shortcuts. There's never going to be an easy way out with art. Like, you're always going to be working, you're always going to be struggling. It's always going to be a little bit harder to make money doing art, because that's just the climate we live in. It's just the world we live in right now. It's the way things are. So asking yourself if it's something that you really want to do is important, because in art school, to pass art school, you're going to have to be drawing every day, and you're going to have to draw when you don't want to, and that can be really tough. Also, like, as shitty as it is, money is a big part of it. You know, if you don't have a lot of money, you have to think about if taking on this big financial debt is going to be worth it to you. And if you're going to be able to handle paying off that debt doing art, or inversely, accepting the reality that you may not be doing art professionally for quite some time after finishing college. You may have to work a different job and do art on the side in order to pay your bills. And it's a really hard decision to make, but you just gotta you gotta weigh your options. I mean, if you're prepared to accept the responsibility, the financial responsibility, and it's something that you're super passionate about, that you just really have to do it, then I mean, go for it. Like, you will learn stuff, but at the same time, you have to be a sponge. Like, you got to think about it as something that you're paying for, because many art schools are for profit. They're not necessarily for, you know, they want your money. That doesn't mean they're not good schools and you're not going to learn anything useful, but they absolutely do want your money. So you got to think of it as a product. So Like, are you going to get your money's worth out of this product? Like, you got to be, you know, taking advantage of, like, all the extra figure drawing sessions and all the time that your professors are offering to, like, talk to you and mentor you or whatever. Like, you got to just take advantage of everything because that's your dollar, you know? Like, it may not feel like it when you're taking out a loan that it's something that you're paying for, but it is. It is. Even if you're not paying for it right this second, you're going to be paying for it, and that's when you're going to want to wish that you got your money's worth. Trust me. Trust me. And yeah, it's exactly, you know, just because it's a for-profit school and they want your money doesn't mean you're not getting your money's worth. Honestly, a lot of these schools are for-profit because the facilities and the opportunities they provide are worth the money. And like honestly, just being in an environment where you're surrounded with art and people that make art, you know, is absolutely priceless on its own. Because you'll find that once you're on your own, you're going to have to get all that motivation for yourself. But when you're in art school, like you can see everybody else that's drawing and be like, man, like they're doing it, I want to do it too. And it's really easy to get motivation that way. So it is totally worth it. I think it's totally feasible to go to art school for like a few years and then quit and then try to make your way at that point, because I mean, depending on what your job you're going for, the degree is not necessarily going to be all that important. Like if you would just want to like self-publish comics and, you know, do that kind of thing, it's going to be tough, but you don't need a degree for that. Like I don't need a degree for what I'm doing right now, so going for an extra 2 years, yeah, maybe I learn some more skills and get some more practice in, but like it really wouldn't be, you know, all that worth it. So that's all stuff to think about. And I feel like I'm like your mother right now, like lecturing you, but you know, I've been there, so but it's good, you know, so it's impossible for me to say like yes or no to art school because Mama Merrick, oh God. Don't make me feel any older than I already feel. But yeah, it's, you know, you gotta think about it. A lot to think about. And I think it's hard. Like you guys, if you're younger and you know you're in high school or whatever, you may be getting and you're considering, you know, a career in art or pursuing art. Like you may be getting a lot of flack from your parents. And like I've been there. Like my parents did the same thing. Because from a parental perspective, like art is a hard career to be successful in. It requires a lot of work. It requires a lot of dedication. You know, a little bit of luck and stuff. But what they don't understand, being our parents and being from an older generation, is that like we have the internet, and the internet is one of the most useful tools that could possibly have been developed for artists who want to make a name for themselves. It gives you a platform where thousands of people at any moment in time can look at your work. So if there's anything that, you know, I'll stress more than anything else, is use the internet. Internet is your greatest tool, and if you're not using it, like, you're an absolute fool. Build a portfolio online, start networking online, get your art in front of people online, and like that's, you know, because in our parents' day without internet, that was like, you know, just like inconceivable that a tool like this would exist that would allow you to network in the way that it lets you. So take what they, if your parents are giving you flack about pursuing a career in art, take what they say with a grain of salt, because they do have your best interest at heart, but times are different. Like I can say with a great amount of assurance that I would not be the artist I am today without the internet. Far from it. So, just like I said about, if you're in art school, all the extra sessions, sorry, and stuff that you could take advantage there. It's just the same way on the internet. Like if you're not on Tumblr and you're on Twitter and Instagram, get on Tumblr. Like that's even if you only have 50 more followers on Tumblr, that's 50 more people that are going to see your work. And one of those 50 people could be the person that gives you a job. You never know. Or one of those 50 people could be the connection you make that helps you out in the future. Like you got to put yourself out there. And as far as like having an art page that grabs attention, like your art should be the focus. Like your art should be the thing that's grabbing attention. It's like you can have a super simplistic web page, but if your art is good, like people are going to see it, people are going to stay for it. So, like I said, the internet is just a venue, but you are a product and your work is a product, and you have to think of it like that. So, how are you going to market yourself? I can say that I think one thing that got me the farthest in social media and the internet is just like being nice. Like always be nice. Always say thank you. Give stuff away for free. Don't start out charging people a bunch of money for your work because nobody knows who you are. And it's a big investment for someone to pay money for something that, they don't know what they're going to get. Give stuff away for free. I think that's a good online business model for anything, not just art, is give stuff away, give stuff away, give stuff away, and then once people know about you and what you're making, then ask for something in return. I think knowing the value of your work is super important, but when you're starting off, like I'm not saying you should work for free. Never work for free. Like if someone's offering you a job with exposure as payment, it's not worth it. But getting yourself out there and putting your work out there for free is not a bad move when you're starting out. Sorry, that's the baby monitor if you guys are hearing that beeping. Anyway, sorry to just like lecture you guys. I just imagine whenever I'm having like a phone conversation with my mom and I'm just like, okay, yep, yep, That's how I picture you guys right now. Just be like, all right, be quiet. I just want to watch you draw. But yeah, I mean, I totally got rambly there. But hey, in all that rambling, this cool drawing has been unfolding that I'm actually really happy with. So yeah, sometimes just like zoning out and drawing is good too. Like I've got some music in like one ear, some just like really nice like calming music that's not taking up a lot of my attention, and I'm just like yapping about stuff. So like occupying your brain kind of, I think to some extent, like lets the stuff that's stored in your memory kind of like flow forth a little bit easier. I don't know if that makes sense. Because I feel like the more you think about it and the more you plan it out, the more it's going to look super stiff and planned out. So it's good to kind of just like let it flow naturally. And yeah, like I guys, oh jeez, tripping over myself. Like I said, if you have ideas, or even if you want to like, shoot me an email just to chat, or like hit me up on Twitter for like instant message or whatever, direct message. Don't hesitate. Like I know like people are shy on the internet and stuff. Like it's cool. Don't worry. Like I'm super accommodating, and I'm a really friendly guy. So if you want to just chat or give me ideas or topics to like talk about in the next stream, or like I said, ideas for like video logs or whatever, like don't hesitate to give me ideas. Like I'm totally open to everything, and I like really appreciate all the feedback. Like you guys are my fans, and you've helped me get where I am. So like anything I can do to like help repay you guys for everything you've done for me, because like I keep saying, my fans are the best. You guys are the best. Don't let anybody tell you otherwise. Totally true. So yeah, don't hesitate to hit me up. Even if you want to just like bounce ideas off me, or like you want a friendly critique or something like that. You know, I'm down. Just let me know. Like I've oh, thank you. You guys are seriously, like you guys are the nicest people. I love you guys. I really do. You guys really make my day. Well, somebody's loud outside. I don't know if you guys can hear that. Damn. Yeah, thank you guys. Like I say it a lot, but I don't say it enough, because I can never say enough like how thankful I am. And I feel like at some point I'm gonna have to make this hit the horizon, so let's just go ahead and do that. So I kept going back forever. I mean that's all I do for the entire month of October, shout about Halloween, so I get it. It's almost Halloween, guys. I was saying that 29 days ago, as soon as it's October. Oh yeah, good. I mean, it's a good time to ask that. I am going to be putting a new art book on Gumroad soon. It's going to be all my Inktober stuff. This stuff. I'm gonna pop everything out and get high-res scans of everything. And I think like one thing that I like to do with my art books, and I may not say this explicitly, but if you have my art books, if you purchase my art books and then want to use one of the images to make a print for yourself, go ahead. Like, more power to you. Like, that's, you know, I give you my blessing to do whatever you want with those digital things. If people like them as phone backgrounds, if you want to make your own print, go ahead. Like, I know I don't make a lot of prints, so like I obviously want to give people that option. But yeah, I'll sometime after the end of the month, when all the Inktober stuff is done, I basically just need time to like scan it and put it all together. Then I'll put that up as a digital art book on Gumroad. And for Halloween, gonna be going out trick or treating. I'm gonna be taking my son trick or treating, and I don't know if I'm gonna be dressing up as anything. I might throw something together like last minute, or like a mask or something, but mostly gonna be focusing on the little guy this year, and he's got multiple costumes, because he's at the age where everybody wants to dress him up, so people buy him costumes without asking us. So he's either gonna be one of the dogs from Paw Patrol. I don't know if you guys are familiar with that show, or a pirate. So one of those. So yeah. But anyways, guys, this is gonna be it for today. I know I said I was gonna try to stream last night, and I'm sorry that I didn't. I kind of just like got caught up in other work stuff. But I may try to tonight, at least do something. So we'll see. Stay tuned, I guess. But thanks for tuning in. This has been a lecture-y one, but I hope you guys enjoyed it nonetheless. And I love you all, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye-bye.